I did watch the Iger interview.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
Oh my god, it was so funny. The
I haven't
questions
seen
he
it.
was being asked and the non-answers. It was.
Oh, I've heard about the non-answers.
Oh,
I've
God,
heard about the non-answers.
It's like, dude, we get it. You want to be a politician.
Yeah.
You're doing a great job of not answering people's questions.
Of
and
not
sidestepping
answering
everything.
a thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that, let's go ahead and get started. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the final episode of Analyzing Andor. I am here with two of my favorite people in the world. To my immediate middle is Paul.
Immediate middle.
My immediate middle. And to my far end is my good friend, the Nev. Gentlemen,
Hello,
welcome.
Governor.
Hello there.
Hello there.
All right, give me 1 second. We are starting streaming now on the Escape Podcast Twitch channel as well. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the show. To my immediate left is Nev. Stage left, though, is Thaddeus from Going Nerdy.
Hello.
Hello, gentlemen.
It is my pleasure, gentlemen.
All right. So let's get down to business.
Okay.
It is time to finish Analyzing Andor.
Yes.
Now, we were supposed to do the show Tuesday.
Yep.
But I hadn't seen the finale. I hadn't watched the last episode yet. So I was like, hey, let's push it to Thursday. You guys were like, all right, let's do that.
And that's what we did.
And that's what we did. We'll get into whether or not that was a wise decision later on.
Yeah. So here's after watching all 3 episodes, and knowing that the general rule of thumb is anyone that dies off screen is not dead. Is Marva dead?
Yes.
That's the question I have. Is Marva dead?
She's not important enough a character to not remain dead.
She's a brick.
She's a
she's a brick. She's a brick.
So can I be honest? One of the things that has fascinated me is like, do they cremate her and then turn her into a brick? Is that what they did?
said.
Is that what I missed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They mix her ashes with the same material that they used to make bricks, and then they make a brick.
But that was the second episode of the 3 that we watched.
That was the last episode.
Oh, that was the
finale.
last episode. But you're asking if Marva's dead. We have to talk about Andy Serkis and crew breaking out of the prison
Oh my gosh!
first.
Yes. Can we talk?
Now is Andy Serkis dead?
Is Andy Serkis
no.
dead?
That's a better question.
Yeah.
No.
Because of course he's not dead, because he's gotta, become Supreme Leader Snoke. Right? He's gotta take a bash to the head, and he's gonna be Snoke. Right?
Of course.
Otherwise, no. Right? I gotta say, like, that whole episode was absolutely fascinating. I watched a breakdown of, like, the moment by moment, like, the acting of Andy Serkis specifically, and it's fascinating. The little details that they put in, the
He was the best thing.
He was
the best thing about the last 3 episodes, as far as I'm concerned. All right, I'm biased because he's British.
Well,
of
course.
I'm biased. You put a Brit in a role in Star Wars and they nail it.
Well, not always, but yeah, right. Like, I thought it was, but like, if you look at the breakdown, like, he starts the episode with, "I'm a dead man. I know that I'm a dead man." Right? I'm doing this knowing that I
move forward as if you're already dead. Yeah, that mantra's been that mantra has been expressed in other cinematic movies and shows,
sure,
and stuff like that.
Sure, but just the way that he handled it, like every aspect of that. I don't know, that whole series, the chanting, the one way out, the yeah, just all of it. Andy Serkis's his performance was just top notch, phenomenal. And then I'm focusing on Andy Serkis right now. But like to see him get to that finale, get to that final stage after everything, and then just say, I can't swim.
I know, yeah.
Like, what the hell? I was broken. Like that hurt me to see.
He'll have got off some other way.
Now, okay,
Got off some other way. There's no way that they're not going to bring his character back in some way in season 2. It's just not going to.
Is it official that there's going to be a
no.
season 2?
It is official that there are only 2 seasons. Bones, what's up, my friend?
Only 2 seasons.
Only 2 seasons. Yes.
Yeah.
Season 2 should lead directly into Rogue One.
Yeah.
That's
season 2 will lead in. There's going to be a gap now.
Yeah.
There is going to be a gap, a time jump between the end of season 1 and the beginning of season 2.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody knows how compressed the timeline is going to be for season 2. I personally think it's going to be a very, very compressed. It's not going to be spread out over weeks and months like season 1 was.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be. I think season 2 is going to be all a matter of days. You know how the last 3 episodes of
this season,
the final season of the Clone Wars, the last the last 4 episodes were all a day. It was a day. It was literally all in one day. It was boom, 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 boom. You know.
But
what about the middle 4 episodes? How long was that?
Nev's favorite.
I
think that was 2 or 3 years. It took to get through.
It felt like 2-3 years.
But that's where I'm going to argue with you, Nev. I think you're right in that it'll be compressed, but just like we saw in this season, it'll be compressed over story arcs, right? We'll see episodes 1, 2, 3 compressed as a story arc, 4, 5, and 6 compressed as a story arc, 7, 8, 9, and it'll be a couple of days, but then maybe 6 months in between. You know,
I mean, I don't think there'll be any more Saw Gerrera. The Saw Gerrera fan service, we've had that.
No, there's no way they're done with Saw Gerrera.
Yeah,
no
they're done
way
with
they're done with Saw Gerrera.
They're done with Saw Gerrera in season 2.
No.
Season two's gonna be more Mothma and they're gonna need some de-aging. They're gonna need some de-aging technology for
Princess
Leia's
Leia.
dad.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yes. I mean, I loved Jimmy Smits, but when he shows up, he's
aged. He's a lot older, so they're gonna need to do some. They'll do some de-aging CGI on him.
Yeah, sure. I mean, he's aged gracefully, like a fine cheese.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, he won't need to do anything different acting wise. It's gonna be it'll be post-production where they'll do the de-aging.
Yeah, he's only gotten better as an actor, if that can be even said about Jimmy Smits, because he's amazing and has always been amazing.
Which is weird because he looked older in Sons of Anarchy.
Oh yeah,
they made him look old in Sons of Anarchy.
Now, Nev, you didn't see it, but with Kenobi, because you still haven't watched Kenobi yet, right?
Yeah, no, I'm not going to watch Kenobi.
Right, and that's fine. That's your choice. Like. But in Kenobi,
I love how you said that, Dad.
That's your choice. I'm not going to argue, because that's a different argument. We all appreciate that we come to the fandom at different
and that's
points.
why we do this show together.
But like, because you haven't seen it, like I don't know if you've seen any images of Jimmy Smits in Kenobi.
Nope.
Like he looks, I don't know. He looks maybe like mid-40s. Like. He looks really good, right? Like I think like he should in this role, you know. So I loved it. I hold on, let me phrase that. I loved his performance in Kenobi. And so seeing him in season 2 of Andor, I think will be just awesome. And I think that he should be in season 2 of Andor.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's got to, it'll be him that's convincing Mon Mothma. Look, what you're doing here in this, it's pointless. It's useless. Just come to the rebel base and be the leader of the rebellion, because what you're doing in the Senate is pointless. It's completely and utterly pointless.
It is, but even oh my gosh, even his character is still a senator at this time. He's not a full-on rebel either, right? He's doing the same thing Mon Mothma's doing, just slightly different, right? Because Mon Mothma's got her group. We don't know that Organa has teamed up with her at all. We know that he trusts her, sure, but he doesn't trust her with the knowledge of Leia and Luke, right? So I mean, that's a whole thing.
I don't think Jimmy trusted anybody with the knowledge of Leia and Luke.
That's my point. Well, he trusted Brea, his wife, obviously. I think so, at least. I want to say that he did. He's not just going to show up, hey, honey, look what I got. I got a baby.
The stork, drop this off at the front door, sweetheart. Yeah.
But like, that's the whole point. I mean, now here's the thought. I'm kind of skimming through this No Way Out episode, and there's really 3 story arcs, or 2 story arcs in this episode. There's 3. There's Mon Mothma, there's the prison, and then there's Luthen Rael. And I'm watching, or I've got the Mon Mothma moment where she's meeting with this crooked guy, and he's like, "Hey, let's get our kids to do it," right? I mean, he does it a little more, tactfully. Let's get them married, right? And
let's get them married. I don't think
get them married.
Right. Yeah, I mean, obviously the whole do it thing is just implied, but like, because it's the age-old custom, and she's like, I don't care for that. What if the straw that breaks the camel's back for Mon in Rebels is something happens to the daughter? Right? Because I was thinking about it, that moment where she goes, this whole relationship is important, right? It's incredibly important. Mon is this upstanding Chandrillan person who has no ties to the underworld, except for the fact that she's like the co-leader of a rebellion against the government. Then she essentially marries off her daughter, that's what's implying at least. And family is incredibly important to her, or at least
Ohana means family, and families stick together.
Families do stick together. On a side note, did you guys see that there was some AI rendering of what Adam from Adam and Eve would have looked like, and it was Vin Diesel? Right? Like AI was like, hey, this whole thing, this was started with Adam, and Vin Diesel is Adam, and obviously that's why he's always talking about family, right? He's worked it into his movies.
I have no idea what he did here.
Sorry, I'm
he's
tangent.
Talking about He's talking about Fast and Furious.
Yeah,
I don't watch the Fast and
I've
Furious.
I've seen the first one when they used floppy disks to move information from one place to another, not like a hard disk, a floppy disk to move information.
3.5-inch floppy.
Yeah, loved that. But anyways, where was I? Family, Mon. Yeah. What we've got to, there's got to be a bigger story here, right? Mon is, if Mon does marry her daughter off to this underworld guy, this shady dude, then all of a sudden we have a lot of openings for more of the underworld to be introduced, right?
No, it's a side issue that she's gonna throw her husband under the bus,
Which she did.
in order to save the rebellion, right? the daughter's going to find out, and she's going to be like, "Screw you, Mum! I'm leaving with my husband.
I'm joining the First Order."
She's gonna go be, you know, she's 12. Her husband's gonna be 13. You know, she's gonna be like, right, I'm off to play in the sand pit back on our home planet. I don't want to be anywhere near you. Blah 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 blah.
I'm headed to Alderaan.
Yeah.
They're taking their honeymoon on Alderaan.
Their honeymoon's on Alderaan. Yeah.
Good thing we went there first.
But you know, and then, you know, with her being all alone, that's when she starts her affair with Manny Bothans.
Manny Bothans.
With Manuel Bothans.
Well,
That's when
I gotta
she
tell
starts
you
her
though,
affair with Manuel Bothans.
That Manny Bothans, he's a player. He makes the rounds. I heard that he was on the Death Star for a bit. Right? Can I tell you one thing? The one thing that bothered me.
Can I tell you no, but you'll do it anyway?
Yeah, I'm going to. Okay. Episode 10 shows this rebellion in their stack, right? In their work, I don't know, in their imperial symbol, right? What it doesn't do is show us the 7 other stacks of workers, right? There is a rebellion just in this one. It's not a rebellion, an uprising in the prison for all of them. It's just an uprising in this particular prison, in this particular wing. How?
Do you really think it's that the guy was talking to just the one wing?
He had to. He had to be. Because, like, they sent a TIE pilot. They sent fighters out looking for Andor and Chaz. I don't remember the guy's name. But the other dude who showed up, like, for 5 minutes in Rogue One, right? The guy that he survives with. They sent stuff after him almost immediately after all of this stuff was going down. And so...
And that's how Andy Serkis got off.
Yeah.
He hijacked a TIE fighter.
Possibly. He possibly did it, because he can't swim. He's got to be able to fly.
Yes, that is. What are you looking up?
No, I'm just saying hi to Shadow Demon, right? And Bones, for those of you guys over on my channel. That's the thing though, like it's a small thing to be complaining about, but like there were other towers there, right? And if they wanted to show that this was a bigger prison break, they would have not only spanned out or zoomed out, but zoomed over to show the other towers.
Budget restrictions.
It just seems, I don't know.
Budget restrictions, mate. I mean, they just lost $175 million on their latest movie. They got some budget restrictions.
Well, that took place. That loss came out well after this was made.
Yeah, I know.
Right? This was made in the era of Encanto. Right? Encanto did okay. I mean, it's no Frozen.
They should have put the money from that movie into more CGI for Andor.
Yeah, they should have. But to be honest though, I'm happy with the CGI that they did have in Andor. I thought it was done really well. There were no moments of, you know, hopping along. Like, it was all really well done. You know? So where was I? All right. So you guys don't think this whole Mon Mothma is gonna lead anywhere? Nev, you don't. Paul, what do you think?
I mean, we're kind of.
What do you mean leading? Leading
the daughter. You don't think the whole shipping the daughter and getting her married off is gonna be explored?
Nothing.
I think it's more like, what will Mon Mothma do to fund the rebellion?
I mean, I can see that, but I don't know. They stole a money train. I mean, don't they have? I mean, I'm assuming those little credit chips are non-sequential.
Oh yeah. No,
You know?
that's the payroll. You're talking about the payroll credits.
Yeah.
The millions
The
of
millions.
payroll credits
Yeah.
that they, it's like, yeah. When are we going to start using that?
Yeah. So, I mean, they've got it available, but I mean, I guess if you're trying to be legit about it, then all right, fine. If you don't want to
Be
tip
legit.
off the government,
Be legit about funding an insurgency.
yeah,
It doesn't
right.
matter. It really, really doesn't matter because you're using scoundrels, vagabonds, bounty hunters. You're paying for, the nastiest people because they'll do the nasty things that you need them to do.
Yeah.
It can't all be. What was his name? Can't be all virtuous people. Like, was it Nelix or Nerix? The guy that wrote the manifesto that Andor's got.
Oh,
It
the
was
guy
with
that
an N,
died?
didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't,
Steven.
the-
Pretty sure his name was
Stenix.
Steven.
but they can't. The rebellion can't all be those people.
That's true.
The majority of the people in the rebellion are, either ex-soldiers, ex-military, with some kind of military experience, or people, defectors.
Ultimate Crafting Way says rebellions are expensive. They'll need more money coming.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah.
So
That's true.
let's focus on the episode of the prison break.
Okay.
I mean, so this picks up literally right after the previous episode where the final words, spoken by Andy Serkis's character is no more than 15 at a time.
12.
How many guards
12.
are there? 12. And so we see the kind of Rube Goldberg-ish way that they made this happen.
Yes.
Cassian goes to the bathroom and starts cutting into a water pipe. The water pipe starts leaking and making its way out of the bathroom onto the floor.
Yep.
And so when the rebellion starts happening, when the uprising starts happening in the prison, once they hit that shock floor, it shorts it out.
Yep.
So that area is clear to go. They climb up the elevator, if you will, the scaffolding, the moving scaffolding.
Yep.
And they make their way into the halls, load up on guns and end up getting to the command center, which you believe that it's just for that one stack.
I do.
I think that it's for the entire prison.
Now I know that I'm supposed to suspend belief.
Thank you, Nemec.
Nemec.
Andy Serkis.
Yeah, I was right. It is Nemec. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
thought it was
Nemec is Andy Serkis's character, and I just I still call him Andy Serkis because, damn it, a recognizable actor, but damn good, credit
Nemec
to Andy Serkis. Oh, Nemec was the guy.
Nemec's the guy.
That's right.
Yeah, Nemec's the guy that wrote the manifesto.
Yeah,
the dreamer.
Yeah, he's the Communist
That's right,
Manifesto, but for Star Wars
Apologies.
Rebels. Yeah.
We rewound it, and if there's people that are gonna be like, "Oh, you idiot," and then all of a sudden I'll correct myself. So lay it on me ahead of time, and there you go.
Yeah. So I understand that. Like I think that's good. But one of the things that balls, where was I going with this?
Well, we're talking about the prison break.
Oh, so yes, they get to the top. I fully believe that it was just one stack, because your system has to be really shoddy. It does. If it short circuits on one level in one stack and all other 7 stacks go out.
No, that's not how the
just
floor was deactivated.
Yeah, no,
the floor was
we go.
deactivated in the command center.
Yeah,
Eventually.
here we go, Thaddeus. It always falls to me to shoot you down.
All right.
Always falls to me to shoot you down.
Prove me wrong.
During that episode, they were looking at a monitor, and the monitor had little dots, and those little dots were all of the prisoners, and they were all congregating from all of the stacks to the middle, and then they were going from the middle to one outside bit. So it was all 7 stacks from that one prison. There was a scene
Yeah, there
in
was.
the episode that showed the dots moving from the stacks along the corridors to the middle.
Yeah,
so
dude,
that they could climb up.
Okay,
and get out.
I am looking at that right now. Okay, I am on episode 10. I am exactly at 24 minutes and 24 minutes 34 seconds.
All the red dots on the monitor moving from the stacks that are around the outside
into the
central column. Yeah,
that's the thing though.
So all 7, where all of the workstations were, they had all been alerted, and they were all moving to the middle. It was a prison-wide broadcast.
I get that.
Was making
a prison-wide broadcast for that column of work that's being done. There were 7
the
columns.
Command center was in the middle.
I get that.
The command center's not in one of the 7 columns. It's in the middle.
Dude, you're okay. If I had a whiteboard, I would draw it, right? This is one column. Imagine I had balls. I feel like
just
this,
you're wrong.
No, I'm not wrong.
You are.
I'm not wrong.
Okay, where is it at?
Okay,
20 what?
The one that I'm looking at is 24 minutes and 34 seconds. Okay, what that is showing is, you're right. That's the prison that our main characters are located at. That all of the events are taking place at. Everything that we've seen inside a prison on this planet is in that column. Okay? It shows a center console, and it shows the Imperial logo, right? But there are in this bay that this one location is at, there are 6 or 7 other prison units scattered about.
But we're not talking about those. We're just talking about this one prison.
Yeah, that's my point. That's my point.
No, you're not making that clear. You're making it sound like not everybody in that prison. That's one prison.
No,
there are other prisons in that lake.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Together, they're all completely independent from one another.
No, I totally get that. But don't you think the first thing that one prison would do is hey guys, we're getting run over here. Can you guys send some people over? They would have totally brought in death troopers or something. They would have, or at least stormtroopers or other guards.
They don't have other guards, though, because of the electrification of the floor. There was no need for it, you know?
I get that.
It's like
there are 5,000 of us. Do you really think there's 5,000 in that one column?
Yeah, it went down levels. Many levels.
Okay.
And they're working days and night. So I mean,
7 levels. It was some stupid. Oh, everything's 7s.
That's right.
Everything was in 7s. You know, it was nuts. But yeah.
Okay, at 30:54, you get an overview of the entire prison.
Yeah,
and it is the same shape as the other
Imperial signal. The Imperial
I
base.
know, but it's also the other. It's the exact same shape as the graphical. And I don't even know why we're arguing about this, but
it's Thaddeus's show.
I know, but Thad, it was the entire prison.
I get it. That one prison, but there are other prisons in the lake.
Yeah, but that you weren't making that. You were arguing.
I'm trying to make that clear now.
You weren't making it clear before.
Okay.
There's no argument that there was. There's no argument that there were 6 other prisons.
Oh, okay.
on
So
that lake.
that's what I'm saying. Is there were 6 other prisons. It is those 6 other prisons. I'm not sure why they didn't send help. Right? I mean,
Because they wouldn't have had the means to. There was no shit. Ships would drop things off, and then that's it. They'd bugger off. There were no stormtroopers, no dark troopers, no nothing. The reason why that ship was patrolling and looking for prisoners was because at some point, during the prison break of that one location, comms would have been sent out. Yeah, we've got a prison break. You need to send some people here. That's it.
all right.
All
right. I will agree that you both have different opinions.
Mm-hmm.
Now, can we get I'm good with this episode, but can we get to this final moment? The speech?
Oh, the Andy Serkis' speech, yeah, that was a cracking speech. But it's a great. It reminded me of. It's brilliant, actually. It reminded me of Wayne's World. It reminded me of Wayne's World. Where they've got the caretaker, and it's not a particularly good actor.
Yeah.
And he turns to the camera and goes, I know it's a small scene, but can we get somebody better for this, please? And who do they roll out? Charlton Heston. And Charlton Heston gives this beautiful monologue in the middle of Wayne's World. And it just made me think, this is it. This is the culmination for Andy Serkis.
Yeah.
For this season, because I think they'll be like, people like this character. We have to bring him back somehow for season 2.
Yeah. I would love to see more about him. I just don't think we're going to see him again in season 2.
All right, Prison Break episode. How many how many levels do we give this out of 5?
I give it 5 levels out of 5, and I'll tell you why. It's Andy Serkis' speech is phenomenal, right? It has it crescendos, it's powerful, and then you see his own sacrifice at the very end. But what was chilling to me was the final episode with Luthen Ray, the final part of the episode, and Luthen Rael's speech. What do you sacrifice? That was moving. That was not moving is the wrong word. Terrifying. It was chilling in my mind. I thought it was amazing. So, 5 out of 5.
Yeah, it was basically saying you're a hero. Telling the guy that was obviously rebellion from the beginning, and it's like, look, we need you to join the Empire, and we need you to be evil for the greater good. Mm-hmm. And Lutheran's like, you get to do this. Nobody knows who you are except for me.
Yeah.
I'll be telling everyone the great thing, the great sacrifice that you've made, but no one's gonna know the sacrifices that he makes. He sacrifices everything because nobody's ever gonna know because of all of the horrible, nasty, evil crap for the greater good that he's going to do. And to be honest with you, there's just too much of that. There's way too much of I didn't like the amount of it that was in Rogue One, and there's just too much of it in this show. There's just too much of it in this show. It's like, they seem, Disney and the people that made this show seem so intent on showing, let's show everyone the darker side of the rebellion. It's like, why? To what purpose? To what end? Showing all of the nasty, horrible stuff that the rebellion does for the greater good. The greater good.
The greater good.
It's straight out of, I mean, you could laugh at it if it was, done hot fuzz wise, like killing the living statue, and the kids that did that. Oh yeah, but they were messing up the town. It's all for the greater good. And it's like Saw Gerrera and all of the other cells, and getting all of those nasty, horrible, evil people to do nasty, horrible, evil things, so that people who are good, can be free. It's like, well, why show the darker side of it?
Paul?
Stick with the,
Ultimate Crafting Way says Luthen's speech was great because that's what it actually takes to start a rebellion and fight back against the oppressors. Be better than your enemy is great on paper, but you have to throw rules away when you're taking on a power like the Empire. Without Saw and Luthen, the Empire would never have fallen.
Yeah. Here's the thing, Nev. I understand what you're saying. Like the rebellion is painted with rose-colored glasses, I think, in a lot of times, because as much as we don't want to say it, in many ways, this is a story that has a clear good guy and a clear bad guy, right? I've had many arguments with people over the years, like, oh, in fact, the rebellion is evil because it costs so many lives, and I'm like, you're a monster, because the Empire was terrible, and
from a certain point of
from
view,
a certain point of view, yeah, the rebellion was wrong, right? And I can understand
that was the argument that Boba Fett made.
Yeah.
In one of the extended universe books.
Yeah.
They were the government. They made the laws. They maintain, law
Peace.
and order.
Yeah.
And the rebels were the and that's why he towed the line and respected the Empire.
Yeah. But here's the thing, though. What I think this show does, which I think it sounds like you dislike about the show, is that it makes it more real in a lot of ways. With the lightsabers and the pew pews, there's a lot of
it's not just that. I mean, you've read some of the books and you've read some of the comic books.
Yeah.
There's no darkness there. I mean, you read when Leia and Han and all of that were out doing their things, she would not do anything. She would not go below the belt in order to further the,
in order to further the cause.
In order to further the cause, and that's one of the things that made Leia such a great character. She wouldn't do.
Yeah, but that's Leia.
You're talking about Leia. Now,
right.
Take a look at not Han, but Lando. What Lando did in Last Shot.
Right.
I mean,
okay.
It's not all, whole rebellion is not spotless from the original trilogy.
Yeah. I mean, even
he's
Han,
a scoundrel.
But even Han is a scoundrel. He's a scoundrel, but he's a scoundrel with a heart of gold. He's still going to break rules.
Han murdered Greedo right in front of us in the first movie.
Yeah, but his was a much, much longer journey.
True.
Well,
true.
Not that we knew of in 1979.
Yeah. And so what they've done is they've created a character who's in the midst of the journey, right? We don't know that Luthen Rael or any of the other rebels didn't start off as more idealistic. I still have a really strong feeling that Luthen is a lot more than he seems, and quite possibly a Jedi or a former Jedi. I'm saying it. I think Luthen Rael is Rael Alvaros, a former Padawan of Count Dooku.
Really?
Absolutely. He was Qui-Gon's. I don't know, buddy. I mean, they were like Qui-Gon knew him. They were very different. This whole speech that Luthen gives at the very end, granted, I'm reading into it with a perception that I want to read into it with. It is very like, I was a former Jedi. Even if he wasn't a Jedi, he is a person who's given up the light side. Whatever that means to him, he's given up the light side to walk with ghosts in darkness.
Oh, and that's fine. And there's nothing wrong with that. That is fine. Okay. And yes, we all, insurgencies require people to do nasty, dirty work. I get all of that. But why make that front and center in a Star Wars show on DisneyPlus?
Because that's what people want to see.
No, that's not what people want to see. Just because Rogue One was the most successful of the Disney movies,
look at this.
Sorry, the most success.
That's
the
not
most
what
liked,
you want to
the
see,
most
Nev.
liked. I want to see something a little bit fluffier.
I've
You
got
know, I
Ultimate Crafting Way over here saying it simply can't be done without the dirty work. It's
Yeah, I know,
very
and
rebel.
I'm agreeing with him. It can't be done without the dirty
So-
work. It can't be done without the wet work, the nasty stuff. But why does that have to be? Okay, so we have a rebellion. Let's just film and come up with stories that involve all of the, you know, the dark side of things. Well, I mean, you know, in the earlier episodes, you know, when they were prepping to do the prison run and the stuff like that's fine. You know, that's a military operation against a military target. Okay, that happens in war. You know, the one group going against another group. It's the dirty, nasty stuff that goes on in between. I just think that there needs to be brightness as well. You know, in order for hope to be out there, you don't want people finding out about or seeing the nasty clandestine stuff that the rebellion does, because, you know, people that are on the fence tend to remain on the fence if it's like, well, why they're doing evil stuff. I understand they're doing evil stuff, but if you're going to do evil stuff, why should I make the choice? I'll just continue to sit on the fence, you know.
Why can't people tell you a story, Nev?
Oh, people can. I just,
So-
it's the way the story is told.
So here's
Okay.
so here's the thing, Nev.
Then write it yourself and get it produced.
I understand what Nev's talking about, but here's the thing, like, with the way that this story is, it has to be this, because they're talking about Cassian Andor, who is a spy who's done all of these dark things. This is his show, and because it's his show, we're going to see those dark things. We're going to see the circles that he runs with, and we're going to see the darkness. If this were a Hondo Ohnaka show, which maybe one day we'll get, who knows? It would be
It's called Ahsoka.
yeah, it would be a little more lighthearted. It would be a little more. It would have moments of silliness, right? It would if they came out with a Hondo show that was dark and gritty like this, it would be wrong. But for Andor, or for Cassian, who we haven't seen a lot of, we just know that he has this darker past. He's done these terrible things. I mean, we have to see the darkness, right? I mean,
what was one of the best things? What was one of the best things about the final couple of episodes? The final episode of the Clone Wars. Ahsoka flat out refused to kill the clone, despite the fact that they were trying to kill her. They were trying to execute her. She refused to kill them. Rex refused. They refused to cross the line.
but those are characters.
Even though
they're different characters, Nev.
That's different characters. That's exactly what I'm trying to say.
Ahsoka
But
fought
that's-
with those.
That's still people writing a Star Wars story, and they wouldn't cross that line. And it was better because they wouldn't cross that line.
And I totally understand that. I understand that for Ahsoka and for Rex. Rex is not going to kill his brothers. Ahsoka is not going to kill her brothers. These are people that they have fought, bled, and many have died serving together.
Cassian almost took the shot to kill Galen.
Yeah. The guy who set the whole thing up. Right?
Mhm.
Like, he's not a good guy. Cassian at most is an anti-hero. Right?
Yeah, he is. He's an anti. Yeah, he's an anti. He's not a hero. He's an anti-hero.
Yeah, and I wouldn't even say hero at this point. Cassian's still kind of a dirtbag, right? Like,
in the words of Wreck-It Ralph, being a bad guy doesn't make you a bad guy.
all right, I'm gonna say this because you brought it up. I have a hard time watching that first Wreck-It Ralph because I have daughters. That moment at the very end, I have a hard time watching it without getting choked up. Like, it's emotional for me. Like, I watched that, and like that little girl, she's like, "Oh, I believe in you," and it's like, "Oh, fatherhood. It's a whole thing. But I can understand your point, Nev. I do, but it's not the character. And when I say it's what people want, what I'm referring to as a larger audience. Maybe not Star Wars. And I can definitely see your point, because Star Wars has a lighter side, a more family friendly side, because traditionally it has been more family friendly. And that's actually been one of the complaints I hear from people. Like, I wish this were more family friendly. And it's not. It's not.
Kenobi was not family friendly.
Kenobi was a little more family friendly than this. A little.
Oh yeah. Picking a guy up and snapping his neck right in front of, in plain view,
I mean,
was totally family friendly.
I mean, a new hope. That the first time we meet Darth Vader, he force choked a dude to death. I mean, he's like, right?
Yes, but you didn't see the neck go like that, okay?
I mean, it was implied, but like
he wasn't force choking. He was strangling him.
Okay, fine, whatever. But
because he had him up in the air, and then he lost his rag and just threw him against
he
the wall.
forgot that the safe word was harder daddy. Okay,
harder daddy. Yeah, they say potato force choke, right? Whatever. But if you look at like the greater television series, you don't see a lot of family friendly content, right? Like for adults, you see darker, grittier things. And the stuff that people are rewatching, the stuff that people have been connected to, it's darker things, and I think this is trying to get that audience, right? Is it the right move for Star Wars? I mean, Nev's unhappy with it, but like, I think from what I understand, this has been one of the most well-received shows on DisneyPlus in a while. Like, She-Hulk didn't do well. People are saying that I read an article that said Bob Chapek may have cooked the numbers for She-Hulk. I don't know how true that is, but they did win any awards.
Well, we don't know what their numbers are. All we know are what the Nielsen ratings were.
That's
and
true.
Obviously the Nielsen ratings for She-Hulk were not good.
Yeah.
Andor's Nielsen ratings were much, much better.
Yeah.
But the thing you got to remember with the knowledge that Andor was more well received by a wider audience is you got to remember that they dumped Andor on cable. They gave it out to everybody. They gave Andor out to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
It's the first time that they've done that.
I think that's
so more people were given the opportunity to watch Andor because it wasn't exclusive. Well, I mean, yes, it was originally exclusive to Disney Plus, but I think it was after episode 6 Disney made the decision to just give it out to other platforms. It was available. It was made available on other platforms.
Yeah,
and I think that's
why more people watched it.
And aren't they playing? Like later this year, aren't they going to put the first 2 or 3 episodes of Andor on ABC?
I believe
more than likely. It wouldn't surprise me.
No, they
really,
are.
really
like that's. I think they are.
Andor on November 14th. Andor to become first Disney Plus Star Wars show to air on NBC.
Yeah,
and they aired. I'm sorry. I just want to cover it here.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
It aired.
Thanksgiving weekend, right?
Thanksgiving weekend, yeah. The Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving, 9 p.m. on FX.
That would be if I was the business person, I'd be thinking, yeah, let's do Andor season 2, every episode available on Disney Plus. But the people outside Disney Plus have to watch it episodically. And if
they're going to suffer just like us,
then they make everybody suffer except for those subscribed to Disney Plus. And then people are like, no, I'm not waiting next week for the next episode. Sign me up to Disney Plus so I can watch all of the episodes back to back.
That makes sense. From what I understand, though,
it was the first thing I tweeted at Bob Iger when he got his announcement back. I'm like, I said 2 things that he could do. make Star Wars animated stuff, make more Star Wars animated stories, and make every single episode available all in one go.
Yeah.
The reason why there are shows on Netflix that are huge is because people could sit there and watch the episodes in their own time, at their own pace. That's what made House of Cards so huge. And that's what made Cobra Kai, not just those. I'm just giving a couple of examples.
Yeah.
When the show is that good, you let people watch. If it's that good, you let people watch it at their own pace.
Netflix did not do that for one of my favorite shows, though.
What show?
What?
The Mole. They released a new... Remember how I talked about how much I love The Mole, Neil?
Yes.
They released a new version on Netflix in 3 chunks.
Oh, right. Okay.
See, and that's the thing is, like, chunks. I'm okay with chunks. Chunking this story would have been fine because it's story arc, story arc, story arc. That would have been great.
Agreed. Then that's how we did the show.
Yeah.
We did this show.
Yeah. And had they done that, I'd have been like, this is dope. I would have loved every second of it. But, like, the weekly thing, I think it would have been tough, especially since the first 2 episodes, people were like, I can't get through it. I can't get through it. They're like, everyone
Too cerebral.
Yeah. They were like, this isn't for me because I can't do it. But if they would have done the first 3 episodes and then the second 3 episodes and then the third 3 episodes and the finale, that would have been perfect.
If they'd released every single episode at once, giving people the option, the people that stopped watching it after episodes 2 or 3 would have watched everything back to. It's like, right, maybe it gets better. I can watch the next one.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe it gets better. I will watch the next one.
After episode 3, they would have been like, all right,
if I did not have the ability to watch Breaking Bad, every single season 1 of Breaking Bad, episode after episode after episode, I would never have continued watching it because it took me 6 episodes to get into that show. Because the first 5 episodes, I'm like, seriously, what is the fuss about? Everyone's going on about this show, and I've got to episode 5 and talking to my best friend. It's like, what's the deal? It's like, trust me, stick with it. After episode 6, and when you get to the season 1 finale, you'll be screaming. You'll be like, ready to what? And he was right. I got to the end of season 1, I couldn't wait. Back-to-back episodes of season 1, 2, and 3. I watched all 3 seasons like that. I mean, people can do that with the shows now, but when it's being released, they don't do that. They starve everyone. They think it's a good formula. It's not. Streaming platforms are not cable TV. It's not satellite TV. It's not terrestrial TV. People don't want to wait week after week after week for their episodes anymore, unless it's some shitty reality TV show like Love Island, car crash TV, I refer to it. When it comes to these narrative, story-driven shows that are important, people want to watch it all in one go. Yeah. I used to take days off in preparation for when a season of a season of House of Cards was coming out. I would take a couple of days off. No, don't bother me. I'm going to sit and watch every single episode back to back.
Yeah.
And that would be it. And I just think that, that's what they need to do. And if they're going to put a couple of episodes on NBC, that's the perfect time to do it. All those people, I've got to wait next week. No, not if you sign up to DisneyPlus. You can watch them all in one go. And it's like, really? Okay, I'll do that. I'll sign up to DisneyPlus.
Yeah.
All right. Let's quickly get through episode 11 because we're running behind here.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So
when are we not running behind?
Marva dies right off the bat.
Yep.
Word starts spreading about that. Deidre is going. She's getting even crazier trying to find Cassian, and then we finally get back to the planet, the prison planet, and I don't know what these things were.
Narcadians.
Okay, so the Narcadians, who spoke like Jar Jar Binks, but more refined.
Yes.
Capture capture Cassian and captures Nemec.
Yep.
But then they have a change of heart and they're like, okay, let's get these guys off the planet because the Empire has screwed up our fishing anyway. So let's get off this planet.
They've ruined our fishing. This is like the old guy from Grumpy Old Men. That's how it's just fishing.
By the way,
Which
called
one, Lemon or Matar?
Right.
Both.
Yes. By the way, the droid, it was named BMO, right?
BMO.
But it's actually B2 Emo.
Oh, yes. Is it?
It's B2 Emo.
Yeah, there's a 2 between the letters. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So I with how
Emo's
sad the
not
droid
dead.
was being, I was gonna say with how sad the droid was being, it was being too emo.
B2 Emo. Oh my gosh. That's terrible.
So this is where we get the talk where the guy who possibly could fund Mon Mothma now that the prison job has happened, or the payroll theft has happened. That's where we get the offer. Well, if your daughter marries my son.
Well, that was in episode 10.
That was in episode 10.
Yeah. So
I'm sorry. This is where her Mon Mothma's sister comes in and catches the daughter going through a pre-wedding ritual.
Yeah.
That's what this
is. That what that was? I was so confused.
Yeah, it was a pre-wedding ritual.
The cult-looking thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the chanting.
After that, we end up getting the old officer from the first episode, now reassigned, calling. Oh God, what was it? So many people introduced in this. It's hard to keep track. The smarmy guy. The former officer.
That guy.
That has the mother that
that we all love.
We all love.
Very,
Who eats
very,
cereal.
very forgettable characters.
Cyril. Yeah.
Cyril. Thank you. Thank you.
I accidentally said his name. I said cereal, but Cyril.
Cyril. Yeah.
Right.
So it's they're going all the way through. He tells him that Marva has passed away, and so he decides, oh, okay, I guess Andor's going to come back for the funeral, and he heads back.
Yep.
The next scene, Luthen gives up 2 tubes.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
Luthen, he's
funny.
brutal.
Luthen and we get the Luthen and Saw exchange where Luthen puts in Saw's hands Anto Krieger's
lightsaber.
life. Yeah, no. He puts the life in Saw's hands and says, "Are you going to sacrifice the people, or are you going to care about your friends?" And so that's where Saw gives up Anto, and then he's like, Saw says to Luthen, you're either ISB or you have a spy in ISB. Do you have a spy here? And of course he gives up 2 tubes.
Yeah. It's my boy 2 tubes over there. I loved that. I love the craziness of Saw in this episode. That because it leads to that ultimate, he's nuts. He's become so paranoid in his work with the Empire that he can't trust anybody. I love it.
So after that, Cassian calls back because he's finally off planet, off the prison planet. He finds out his mother died, and he goes along with Nemec.
Melchi.
That's Melchi?
Yeah, Nemec's the dude who is
Nemec's the dude that died during the prison heist.
Okay.
He's
so,
guy that wrote the
so he
manifesto.
goes with Melchi to the beach.
Melchi.
Yeah, he goes to the beach. This is where the whole series should have ended, in my opinion.
Really?
Yeah, no,
Yes.
It could have worked.
I think that it could have worked
As a
much,
cliffhanger?
much better as a great cliffhanger
It
going
would've.
into season 2. Season 2 opening with what episode 12 was would have been great. Episode 1 or episode 11 here, where Cassian, where they're basically exchanging, saying, Melchi's saying, I'm not going. People have to know what happened.
Yeah.
We have to spread the word. People have to know what happened.
Mm-hmm.
So
it makes sense.
This would have been the best ending.
I don't know though.
Go ahead.
Why not? I understand. Like, without getting into the finale, I get it. This would have been a good ending, and to start, it would have been a great beginning, right? The finale would have been a hell of a way to kick off the opening scene, the opening episode of season 2. I think you're right. However, since there are only 2 seasons and there's so much time between
there is going to be there's a year's gap.
Yeah.
There's going to be years gap between the end of season 1 and the beginning of season 2. Multiple years.
Yeah. And so for me, if knowing that there's only 2 years, there's only 2 seasons of this, I don't think there's any way they could have done what they did, or any other way that they could have done it.
They can't. They have to put 4 years between
Yeah.
it because season 1 starts by BBY.
Yeah. And so
they have to, depending on how long the timeline is over season 2, it could be 2 years or 3 years, or it could be 4 if they're trying to compress everything that occurs in season 2 into a matter of days or a matter of weeks.
Yeah.
All right. So how many Andorian quad jumpers do we give episode 11?
Nev?
I don't know. 3.5.
3.5. I have to agree with you. 3.5 wasn't a memorable one, but the +1, because remember, 2.5 is your average show.
Yeah, exactly. 2.5 is the average. Anything
The
over
+1
is above average.
Yeah. If it would have ended up at that, I probably would have given this a 5. But I knew that there was something else coming after it, and so therefore, 3.5. I agree.
I agree with you guys.
There we go.
3.5. 3.5. The coolest part in this episode to me was the space battle that I'm watching right now.
where Luthen takes off.
Yep, and the lightsabers, the Kyber crystals, the Kyber crystal lasers.
The lasers.
The laser ships.
Lasers. Freaking lasers, man.
Sharks with lasers. That's what it is.
On their freaking foreheads.
On their foreheads.
All right. Episode 12, otherwise known as The Funeral.
The Funeral.
There was barely any dialogue during the first 20 minutes of this episode.
There's a lot of walking that takes place.
Yeah. There's a lot of close-ups on complete and utter nobodies. I'm like, why are you showing a close-up of this guy and this guy and this guy and this guy? It's because you want to kill them in, like, you want them to get shot by stormtroopers. It's like, why? Okay.
All right. Okay. I mean, I didn't notice that.
I got lost. I got lost in it, and I'm like, right, okay, let's start looking for cameos. Anybody in there? And no cameos. I was looking for cameos because they kept on doing these close-up shots of people's faces with expressions on their faces, like they're gonna do something, and they didn't, and then they got shot. I mean, it's like this one guy with a bald head, multiple shots on him, and then you see him get shot in the back and lying, and the camera's like looking at his face. I'm like, seriously, there could be kids watching this. You just showed a scene of the guy being shot in the back, and he's lying dead with his eyes wide open on the ground. Why? Seriously, why? So yeah, the final episode was just weird. It was just weird. So much.
And episode 1,
whoever did the editing,
episode 1, when Anakin when Obi-Wan cuts Maul in half, we see 2 halves of him falling down the thing. Neil, there's been violence in Star Wars all this time.
But we don't care when it happens to the bad guys. It's when it happens to innocent bystanders.
We saw
that
an
it's
entire
problematic.
planet be destroyed.
But we didn't see the faces of people. They didn't show scenes and shots of people on Alderaan looking at the Death Star about to fire on them.
They
At
did in
no
episode
point
8.
did you see any Alderaanians. You didn't see any people. You just saw a planet blow up. It was abstract, right? It wasn't
Episode 7.
visceral.
Was it 7?
Huh?
Yeah, it was episode 7.
Oh, okay.
Episode 7 because they fire Starkiller.
That's true.
Yeah, this seems to be, I don't take, why make it visceral when it can be done more abstract? I just think it could have been done more abstractly. There's no need to make death so visceral in Star Wars, unless it's a bad guy.
Unless it's a bad guy. Then disembowel that mother. Right?
Snoke got cut in half.
Maul got cut in half. A couple of times.
That's exactly what I was talking
right?
about.
Like I understand, Nev. I really do. Like I get your point, and I just think that they're moving away from it.
Yeah, sheer effing hubris.
Do you think they're just doing it because they can?
Huh?
They're just doing it for kicks and giggles, and they know people will
No,
watch?
I don't think they're doing it from kicks and giggles. There are people writing this and shooting this and editing this because they think, yeah, this is what we should be doing. It's like, no.
I mean, Robert Rodriguez directed an episode of The Mandalorian.
Keep in mind that he also directed Spy Kids. So
yes, he did.
We all make mistakes.
Yeah. I just think that it's not what made the IP. The IP started with 3 movies.
Mm-hmm.
We got a couple of Ewok movies. We got the Caravan of Courage, and we got the Battle of Endor. Okay.
And the Christmas special.
And then we got a bunch of books and a bunch of comic books, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the comic, even I've read the books. The books themselves didn't have any of, it was still in the same vein, as it was still in the same vein as the movies. We had the prequel, then we had some animated stuff, and this it's like, make it real, make it visceral, make it guttural. It's like, no, you don't need to. They're choosing to. They don't need to do it. They're choosing to do it.
No,
Dark Horse Comics.
Yeah,
I just have to say, you love your Dark Horse Star Wars comics.
Yes, I do love them.
Dark Horse is known for being a little
violent.
I don't know, dark.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. It's but it was.
Bless you.
Bless you. Bless you again. Oh, we got
Jeez.
4.
Yeah,
Quadfecta.
Yes, but they're still images in a comic book. It's not photographs. It's Kir Kanos. It's not it's not 2 people, real people in a still image where Kir Kanos is cutting somebody down. It's an image. You don't see. It's different. It is. It's very, very different from live action. It just is.
I mean, the Darth Vader comics, we saw Darth Vader chop off Second Sister's arm.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. Like, I let's see. So Seth says that he thinks it has more to do with the Skywalkers being more stoic as a story than and as the rebellion story needs grit. And I think that's probably right. I think Seth might have hit it on the head there, because with the lightsabers, with the Jedi, it's more of a will this, won't this be, is there honor in this, right? The Jedi are held to that honor, and then the rebellion are not. Now, again, I see Nev's point. they're showing some very gruesome scenes. Like, this is not something that I would think.
Kenobi was more gruesome in my opinion.
But even still, Kenobi wouldn't. I wouldn't say Kenobi's the most family friendly either. You know, and Disney is moving.
Get back to being. It needs to return to the family, the more family friendly nature. That's my opinion. I just think that it just needs to be more which is why I'm saying, start doing some animated stuff. They need to start doing some animated stuff. A lot more animated stuff.
I agree, Nev, but the animated stuff is not family friendly lately. You mentioned, yes, Ahsoka did not try to kill any of those soldiers, but do you not remember the gravesite at the end of the episode? Of just soldiers? Of just clones?
Yeah, but look what they did.
They buried them and they put their It didn't show it. It didn't show it.
She didn't cause the ship to crash into the bloody planet. That wasn't her bad. It was Maul.
No, I get that. But like, we see it. We see it.
You don't see them being crushed by metal and steel beams and if that scene had been done, if that episode had been done as live action, there's no doubt in the back of my mind that they'd be shooting some really, really horrible, gruesome, nasty scenes.
Oh yeah,
it'd be like, but we see in the animated, it wasn't necessary. There was no need for it. We know that they died because they crashed on a planet on a ship, and they were respectfully laid to rest. Okay.
Yeah.
Neil, you have one choice.
What?
Keep the gruesome scenes in Andor and in Kenobi, even though you didn't watch Kenobi. I know, everybody knows. Or the Martez sisters are deleted. I told you.
Nev quits Star Wars altogether. He's like, no, I can't make that choice.
I'm not going to make that choice. I will cheat like Captain Kirk and have it, and I'll have my cake and eat it. I will have my cake and eat it.
So what do you guys think of the final episode? Like, what's your final rating on this?
It was boring.
Really?
I'm sorry. This entire episode, to me, was even the explosion in the rebellion, and everybody starting the rebellion. It was boring. We should have seen Yularen talking in the very final episode, and not the other ISB leader. We should have seen more Death Troopers and not Stormtroopers.
Yeah.
Especially because of the timeline. There would have been more Death Troopers around in this situation. The Stormtroopers weren't as garrisoned as they were at this time.
That's true, but like with this episode, I understand there only being a handful of Death Troopers, right? Because the Death Troopers, they were specific. They were specifically tailored to certain people. Now, I gotta say, okay, and Seth brings this up. He says, you don't want to sanitize rebellion. You need to define the war as hell, and I'm mad that they censored Marva. Now, have you heard how they censored Marva?
Yes. She's, instead of her saying F the rebellion.
Yeah. She says fight the rebellion.
Yeah.
Now, in my mind,
use a 4-letter word instead of a 5-letter word.
No, see, in my mind, that would have gone a step too far. That would have definitely taken this out of any possible family-friendly anyness. Because to me, Star Wars, as far as language goes, and I know this is kind of a dumb thing, but Star Wars has its own swears.
Dank Farrik, they do.
Dank Farrik, right? Like, they have their own language. To throw the F word in there, I think it would have been, it would have made a point. But see, to me, that's not Star Wars. Right?
We do get it. We still get shit.
Yeah.
In other episodes.
I mean, we get damn and hell, in which, again, the fact that there's a hell in Star Wars means that there's a space Satan and a space Jesus. Just throwing that out there. I don't know what he would have looked like. I feel like he would have been a Bothan. I feel
Manny
like
Bothans died for our sins.
Yeah, Manny Bothans died for our sins.
Yeah, no, the final episode did not give it didn't give the payout I was expecting. I was expecting a bigger payout.
Really?
I really was expecting a bigger payout. It wasn't the payout that I was expecting.
I wanted to see Galen. I wanted to see Jin. I wanted to see something that started the ball rolling towards Rogue One, and not Luthen. Not a cliffhanger of Luthen deciding whether or not he's going to kill Cassian. Gee, I wonder what happens to Andor in Andor.
Yeah. He's cloned. He's killed, and then he feels bad about it and clones him.
And
And then the Clone Wars begin.
Even the post-credit scene was kind of like, okay.
I will say the post-credit scene was the thing that let me down. It absolutely was, because it would have been a perfect opportunity to say, all right, 2 years later, 6 months later, a standard year later on Coruscant or whatever.
5 minutes later.
Yeah, it's Cassian working with Luthen doing something rebellion-y, right? But it's the Death Star being put together. All right, cool. We know the Death Star's being put together. That didn't do anything for me.
But Cassian made the pieces of the Death Star that killed him.
Yeah, like, okay, ironic. So effing what?
Yeah, I mean, you want to know who's going to be really, really, really annoyed with this? Kevin Smith.
He's probably crying somewhere.
Kevin Smith is going to be so angry at this because there was no independent contractors. It was droids. It was droids making it. No independent contractors. So his whole, what about all of the people that were killed, that were destroyed on the Death Star, that were making it and that were working it?
That was on the second Death Star.
Doesn't matter.
They were Wookiees
though. They still used droids.
They used Wookiees.
Droids in space, Wookiees on the inside. That is canon.
Yeah. So actually, droids in space. That's what the new Droids TV show is supposed to be about. It's just droids. It's like The Office, but building the Death Star. Right?
We're gonna get shots of Coruscant, from the street level driving.
Yep. We'll have one boss be like, I am a R2 unit, and I'm just afraid of how much my employees love me.
That's what the droid said.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, very somber I mean, just it doesn't. Don't get me. I'm not saying it sucks. I'm just saying that it was very average. I didn't get to the end of it and think, oh my God, I've got to talk to Thaddeus about this. I've got to talk to Thaddeus about this. It's not like, watching Cobra Kai and desperately just immediately trying to find someone that I can talk to about the show. Oh my God, what about this episode? Oh my God, did you see what happened there? Oh my God. None of that. There's none of that with this. I don't feel compelled to have a conversation about something that happened in this show with another Star Wars fan, other than us doing this show now. But this is like scheduled programming now, basically. Us doing a show about a Star Wars show.
Yeah.
So right. How do you want to cover anything more, because we are going on 2 hours or an hour and a half right now?
Yeah.
We don't want to go to 2 hours.
We don't. That's true. That's true. I still have to write and record for tomorrow.
Yes, you do.
So, no, I overall I was impressed by it. I liked
how
the
many
gritty.
incomplete Death Star after credit scenes do you give this one?
I'm gonna give it a 4. There were a lot of things that I really liked. I like Cassian turning himself over to Luthen, right? It shows a change. It shows character development. I think it was a dumb point. You know, he could have made a much better speech, like, "All right, now I'm here to work with you," right? I'm done running. Let's fight this mother and get stuff done. But I don't know. 4 is my point.
Just like the Harry Potter films, they could have done without the last episode. You know, it's this is 2
Oh, wow.
after credit scenes.
Wow.
This is below average. I don't know. I want my 56 minutes back.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Hated this episode.
Wow.
Neil.
3.5. Everything is 3.5. Right? Everything is just, you know, the majority of it. The majority of it is average, with some bits in there that I think, oh, actually, that's above average. You know, that bit there, that scene there, or that scene there, or that bit of dialogue. Like for example, when what's is it, Quinta? The girl with a dark wavy hair. You know, the hot chick.
Bix?
The hot chick that was working in the bar. She was part of the raid.
In the first episode?
Were we watching the same show? We're talking about the last episode, right? The
girlfriend of the blonde.
Yeah, I
with
got you.
long, dark, wavy hair that worked in the bar, right? And she
Yeah,
was
yeah,
following
yeah.
that ISB agent. You know, she followed that ISB agent and stuck a knife in his gut.
Yeah.
That I was watching now. To me, I was watching that, and it's hidden. It's you know, you don't see the knife go. You just hear. It's like, oh, did she just? And then you see the knife, and you're, oh my god, she just bloody did.
Yeah.
It's like, because I thought that she was I really liked her. I liked that character. There was something, you know, there's a backstory there, that has made her such a dark character, because she is a very dark character.
Yeah.
You know, when, you know, she's, you know, when you know, when her love interest is trying to get affection from her, and it's like, look, you know, you need to accept, you take what I give until this is all over. But until this is all over, I have a job to do, and my job is, you know, killing Imperials.
But Neil, when she shivved him, we saw him still standing up, and then he died. You know, we didn't see
or did he? I mean, tiny little blades, not like a lightsaber.
And even if it was a lightsaber, he could be held together by hate.
I mean, maybe if she'd run him through with a lightsaber, then, you know, maybe he would have survived. But it was just a tiny little blade, so guaranteed death.
Death, exactly, death.
Yeah, death.
She
You know,
hit
because it wasn't a lightsaber.
Because the lightsaber cauterizes the wound. How many times do we have to go over this?
He got infection. He didn't die from the stabbing. He died because he got an infection, got sepsis.
He died from dysentery.
But yeah,
she nicked his bowels and just
ISB bad guy gets his just desserts, you know, and you know, they were delivered by so little, you know, there was, like I said, there was little things that I enjoyed. There was little things that I enjoyed. It would be
Andor as a whole. Let's rate the series. How many Cassians do we give Andor?
3.5.
You know what? I'm gonna agree with Nev. I think overall it was a 3.5. It was an above average show. I think it set the bar. I think it set the bar pretty well for the future. But I don't know.
Your 3.5 is different from my 3.5. My 3.5 is, it's an average show with some above average stuff in it.
Then I'll say a 4. I'll go with a 4.
Average show.
I will go with
for
a
me
4.
is an average show. An average show. Nothing bad or horrible or oh my god, this is awful. Nothing but average show, but with lots, throughout all of the episodes, lots of bits and pieces in there that make you think, no, that makes it above average.
Yeah.
But those bits and pieces that made it above average were few and far between. Hence the 3.5.
And see, I don't think they were few and far between, because I was at the end of most every episode, I was left wanting more explanation, wanting to see what happened, and so I think for me that's what made it more of an above average show, with moments of below average stuff from time to time, or just average stuff, not below average. So, Paul,
I'm going to give it a
Andrew,
3.
That's if Seth MacFarlane was directing Andor, not Kevin Smith.
Andrew says if Kevin Smith directed Andor, but it's Seth MacFarlane, he would have had the prisoners making the handrails, thus making the escape the reason for the missing handrails.
Can I tell you how upset I am that Seth MacFarlane still hasn't come up with anything recently for Star Wars? Can you imagine a 7, 8, and 9 with Family Guy?
Oh God!
Are you kidding me?
Oh yeah, he would wreck it.
He would make it worth it. Like he would make people love 7, 8, and 9 because of how much they hated it, but how much they love Seth MacFarlane's work.
I would watch Seth MacFarlane's versions more than I watched the actual movies themselves.
So my rating for the entire series is a 3. But if you if you give us the prison sequence in its entirety in one episode, that episode would be a 5. That episode absolutely would be a 5. I had no problem that Andy Serkis, gave the exposition of there are 7 levels of 7 different blah, 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 blah. Yeah. I have no problem with that. Neb does. But the fact remains, the prison part was the best of the entire series.
Yeah.
And it took them until 7, 8, and 9 to do it.
Yeah.
Other than that, this was an average show with an above average budget and cast. Therefore, it gets the above average.
All right. I can see that. I won't fight that too hard.
I'm not telling people not to watch it.
Yeah.
Watch what you like and enjoy what you like. Don't let talking heads in a box tell you what to like and not to like. This is our opinion.
Yeah.
And tell us why you disagree.
Absolutely.
Convince me to give it an extra half Cassian.
Yeah, if you haven't watched it, then your opinions are relevant.
Yeah,
that's why you talking about Kenobi has no bearing here.
Yeah, exactly.
I've
talked about what I would have liked from a Kenobi show,
Mm-hmm.
what I think would have been better from a Kenobi show, but I haven't talked or expressed an opinion about it because I haven't watched it. Therefore, I have no opinion of it.
And we appreciate you not sharing your opinion with us, Neb. Thank you.
Thaddeus, what do you got coming up on Going Nerdy on YouTube?
Oh, so I'm putting together for tomorrow our next Uncle Thad story time, our number 2 story time with Uncle Thad for the Marvel Strike Force video game. And then I'll be doing some other stuff. I'm taking I don't want to say a hiatus from making videos, but I'm definitely focusing more on my story time videos than I am anything else for now.
You're taking a familial pause.
Yes. So sabbatical. I am making some fun shirts though. I got into a conversation with someone the other day about Gandalf, a derpy Gandalf smoking weed riding a unicorn. So be prepared.
Thou shall not. Just go.
Just go. So I've got some other stuff. I've been kind of kicking around with that.
Thou shall not Pass the Ducci.
Yeah,
Upon the left-hand side.
yeah. So it's been a lot of fun. I've been playing around with some AI art for a little bit, and then I've been totally sucked into this game, Knights of Pen and Paper. I don't know if you've like, if you want to grind something, download that game. It's like $3 on the App Store. I bought it and I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
You need to buy the board game Paper Dungeons.
Ooh,
The board game, not the video game. The board game, it's technically a card game.
All right.
But Paper Dungeons, amazing. Bought it on a whim at my friendly local game store.
Yeah.
And every single time we play it, it's been so very much enjoyable.
That's awesome. I'll have to give it a shot. So, what about you guys?
Over on the Escape Podcast channel, there will be the Marvel Strike Force edition of the Escape Podcast tomorrow. We are flipping our weeks for the holiday season. Marvel Strike Force gets weeks 1 and 3. Neil and I get weeks 2 and 5 because we're also taking a break for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
So
awesome. Well,
Yes, and I as soon as I can get the audio squared away on my PC properly, although saying that, I can do some solo stuff. I've been playing Modern Warfare,
Nice.
and enjoying it.
and enjoying it as well. Yeah, first time I've played an FPS first person shooter for more than 20 years, and
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
I must
20?
admit, I'm enjoying it.
20? Halo 2 was only 15.
Hmm.
Halo 2 was only 15 years ago.
Yeah, but I never played that online. That was just me and my two girls playing it amongst ourselves.
Okay. All
I
right.
don't count that because it's not like Counter-Strike.
yeah,
All
I
right.
was playing in 99, 00,
Oh.
and 01.
that was a good game. So,
Or no,
All right.
actually, wait a minute.
Still
Halo
is,
2 might be
still
20
is.
years ago.
it was pretty close to 20
Counter-Strike,
years ago.
Counter-Strike Go still gets played.
I got back from Brazil in 2004, and it was right before Halo 2 came out.
All right. So there you go. 18 years.
18 years. So, yes. So, all
No,
right.
Halo 3. Halo 3 was at least 2005.
Yeah, it was a pretty quick afterwards.
All right.
So,
Well, Thaddeus, Nev, thank you so much for taking the journey through analyzing Andor with us.
And we'll be back for the next time.
We'll be back
Absolutely.
for Breaking Bad Batch season
Breaking
2.
Bad Batch of the
in
Revenge.
February.
Yeah. No? I thought
Or is
starts
it January?
I thought it starts like Christmas time.
Yeah, I thought it started next month as well.
Does
Let's
it?
double check that.
I think it starts this month, and they just announced Mando season 3. That is starting in March 1st. That was announced today.
Awesome. They moved it back. So the Bad Batch will now premiere on January 4th, 2023.
Okay.
With a 2-episode special.
Well, then we will see you guys in the new year. So Merry
Mhm.
Christmas and Happy New Year to the both of you.
Indeed to you, sir.
Yeah. But of course, I think that's going to wrap it up for us.
Yeah.
So remember to like and subscribe if you're over on the Going Nerdy channel, or like and follow if you're over on the Escape Podcast channel. And remember to smile.
And stay nerdy, my friends.
Neil,
Push the button.
Push the button.
don't mind if we do. Be
Having
nice
a-
to each other, damn it.